Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So today I'm going to be canning potatoes in the Presto. So I've been collecting extra potatoes during the week from the food initiatives I go to. So last week I was trying to collect more, so we've had the use of some. These are what I've managed to salvage to can. If I don't fill exactly the 10 jars for the bottom of the Presto, I'll either fill with water or with carrots. So basically, as you can see here, I'm just starting to peel the potatoes, and then I'm going to cut them into approximately 1 to 2 inch chunks to fill the jars, to put in the pan and just bring the water to a boil. So I'm making a little bit of a mess, but nothing new. So let me just clear the end of that one. Okay, so we have the first potato. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, down the middle, and again down the middle. So you can see the chunks I've got. There's one gone. I'll wash that in a minute and I'll still use it. So down the middle, 1, 2, and I shall fill this pan with the rest of the potatoes. So I'll come back once we've actually got them on the go. Okay, so I've just stood forever and peeled all the potatoes and chopped them into approximately 1 inch cubes.
Got on the other back one.
Okay. So now I'm just going to bring the water to a boil. I'm not going to cook the potatoes, I'm just literally going to bring the water to a boil. That should release some of the starch out of the potatoes, get the potatoes to a good temperature and just start them on the way. Then we can do the process. So I'm just going to wait for this to come to the boil now. Got my jars ready, so I'm just doing pints. So I've got 10 ready for the bottom layer. I've kept my lids separate so I know which lids go on which jars. At this point I'd like to say a lovely thank you to Donna, who's just sent me some new jars, the jar lifter kit and all the different things to go with it. Thank you, love, thank you so much. So yeah, trying to do it all exactly the way it should be done. Trying to make some wallflowers, and do it properly. So as I say, I'm just waiting for this water to come to a boil now and then I'll come back to you. So the front pan has just come to just boiling. So move the second one back. Just going to drain these completely. Whilst I do that, just going to, I've got heated water in there already, so I'm just going to make sure that water,
More.
oh I haven't put the water in yet, just bear with me, right up to that line, keep going, keep going. Yeah.
Bit of white vinegar.
And some white vinegar. potatoes. And a slotted spoon. Excuse me, Mr. Wallflowers.
It's boiling again.
Yeah. You can just hear the kettle boiling in the background. I've only got one kettle, so I've had to do the canner, and now I need the water for filling the jars.
Need to heat the jars.
One thing I found quite interesting was, for all the fuss and not being able to get these jars so easily over here in the UK as compared to in America or in Canada, actually went to a shop called The Range, as recommended by one of the ladies on the channel, and purchased some of the Kilner jars. They were £3 each, just under £3 each, and I managed to pick 6 up myself. And when I took the label out, they're actually made by a local company, Ravenhead, from England, in the north of England where we live. So to think how difficult it's been for me to actually get Kilner jars, bowl jars, etc. The actual Kilner brand is actually made on my doorstep. The main branch of Ravenhead is actually in St Helens. We had one here literally on the doorstep, less than 100 yards away. We have one in Bearscough, a couple of towns away. So considering how difficult they are for us to get hold of them, they're actually made here, which is crazy really. And they're actually made from sandstone that's primarily historically mined from the town I actually live in. I just think that's astronomical. I just think, you know, the sand is mined from my town that I live in. The companies are all on our doorstep and our surrounding areas, and yeah, they're like gold dust for us to get hold of, and so much easier to get abroad than what they are here. So yeah, just an interesting fact really. On the shelf in that particular shop they had 12 of these jars. Some of the clasp lid bottles, still Kilner brand. Kilner was the only brand that was there, and some mini jars, conserved jam jars I'd call them, really small jars. And yeah, there was just, I'll put a picture in, there was literally just one shelf, one stand, small shelving, of the Kilner brand, and as I say, just 12 of the jars, and I managed to grab 6. So I will be going there quite regularly when funds allow, and try to build up the supply. So yeah, I just thought it was a really interesting fact. So let me see. Yeah, this water at the back has just come to boiling. So again, I'm going to turn that one off. Just hear the kettle finishing boiling at the back. So, let me grab another one so I don't burn my hands. Just literally I'm going to drain those potatoes. Pop them in the other pan to carry over. And then I shall continue to fill these jars. Get with the programme, Marianne.
Don't have to heat them jars now, do you?
No, because the potatoes are so warm that they're heating the jars. So what Mr. Wallflowers is saying, I didn't have to heat these jars in the oven like I thought I would have done. Because the actual potatoes are heating the jar through. And then that'll allow the glass to accept the boiling water. Most of these potatoes are cut just an inch chunk. Some are slightly bigger. So I don't think I'm going to fill all 10 jars. So that's where the potatoes go. So bear with me playing about, I'll get used to filling the jars up soon. I'm not used to these jars. Okay, so what did I get? 8 jars. So at this point I can put salt in if I wish, but I'm just going to put the water in up to the neck. And of course I need to debubble. Sorry?
Where's your debubbler?
Excuse me. So for those that haven't canned before or are just about to do it, especially here in the UK, you're debubbling, that's what this is called, with your stick, and you're looking to get rid of the little air bubbles that would leave bacteria in your food, and when you go to store it, that bacteria would grow, could lead to botulism, or just lose your food, just not have a good quality of food that you've taken the time to buy the jars, buy the food, do the work, use the power to actually can them. So debubbling is a major part of the canning process. And of course, once you've done that, you look to slightly top up the water. Okay, so all of these lids have been washed, the jars have been washed, everything. Oh, I haven't wiped the seals, just bear with me. So, I'm actually going to use vinegar because that's everything that I've been reading about, but I do believe you don't have to use vinegar these days, and the USDA has changed that you can just do it with water. So I think I'll actually just do it with water. Just making sure there's nothing trapped in the rims to prevent a good seal. No stickiness, especially with these being potatoes and quite starchy. So, let me start putting the lids on. Finger tight with the rims. I'm just amazed still looking at the proper jars. I should actually be doing this, shouldn't I? Should actually be doing that. Just trying to make sure the lids match up to the correct jars. I suppose it shouldn't make any difference, but I don't want to chance it at this stage. Now I have 2 left. I'm not sure I've got enough water to fill them. Well, they still have to be filled. So I'm hoping if I half fill this each and top it up with cold, I should be okay. Now that's the last of my own water. So if I don't drink it, I can actually add tap water to them. So they'll be just washed away and not used. Okay, so I've got the gas on. Nice new jar lifter. Start putting the jars in. So of course, as we know, it's not nearly as much water as we would have had whilst water bathing. Right. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think 8 might be the number. I thought it was 10. Okay, don't need the water ones then. Quite happy with that. So on with the lid. So again, fan the V. Make sure it matches up. Come on, Mary, you can do this. Twist it round. Take the weight off. Turn the temperature up. And now I'm waiting for the steam to come out of here and then to time that for 10 minutes.
And then put the weight on.
And then put the weight on, yeah. So that's now vented for 10 minutes. The weight's gone on. So now just waiting for it to go up to £11 for our altitude. And then to can the potatoes for 40 minutes. 4 hours, 40 minutes. So I keep saying I'm going to take this grill shelf off. I think next time I do it I will. I forgot to take it off this time. So I don't know if you can see through Mr. Wallflowers. There's the little venti part at the back. That's coming from this angle. And that's spitting up water till it goes down with the pressure. And that's what, just go slightly back. Can you see the sticky up with the metal piece at the back, the button? If you look on the top of the lid, you see it?
Yeah.
See it's sticking like a screw?
Yeah.
And once the pressure reaches that thing, that'll sit down again. So I'll take mine to 11 and then I'll can them for 40 minutes and then I'll come back and show you. I'll let it cool down for a good 10 minutes minimum, probably 20, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so I've managed to maintain 11 pounds of pressure for 40 minutes. So I'm now turning the heat off completely, which will allow the pressure to drop to 0. And then I'm just going to leave it to cool down. I'm going to leave the weight on and then just leave it to cool down. So the pressure should start dropping now. So I had to turn it up slightly as we went along, and then I had to slightly turn it down. So I was just keeping an eye on not to allow the pressure to drop. So as you can see, it's gone to 10 now, and then it will gradually just go down to 0. Okay, so I'm going to allow it 10 to 20 minutes to cool down, and then I'll pull the jars out and show you what they look like. Okay, so the temperature's completely dropped. Just pulling it off the cooker. Remove the lid away from me. Place it on there. I can hear them sizzling. So I've moved the pan back where it was on the cooker, so I've not got far to lift the jars. I'm sure you would have seen that. As soon as I lifted it up with the jar lifter, the jar slipped out and smashed on the floor. What I was trying to do was to show you how lovely they look. The heat's still bubbling and coming out the top, but they look absolutely fabulous. So I'm one jar down already because that one was broken. So I don't know if that was the way I held the jar or the new jar holder didn't clasp. I shall have another go with the new jar holder and tightly hold it. That seems okay. A bit of siphoning on that one, some of the water's missing, so maybe I didn't tighten the jar quite as tight as I should. So we'll see. Again, looks like a little bit of siphoning on that one as well. So we have 2 jars. 2 jars showing signs of siphoning. So it's a learning curve for me as well, so I don't know if I have to tighten the jars slightly tighter.
Safety seal.
Or whether they haven't sealed.
Safety pop.
Yeah. So that's very loose, that one. I'm not going to mess too much with that lid. Hear that pop? There's a pop on one of them. So the ones that are showing signs of siphoning, I shall use them first. And as you just saw, I've lost a jar already. I've lost one jar already that shattered on the floor. I shall clear that up in a moment. But I'm really not going to worry about that, and I'm really just going to enjoy the success of what we have here, and I'm going to enjoy listening out for the pops. So, yeah. First cannon session down. Thanks everyone for supporting us. They look absolutely beautiful. Leave them till tomorrow morning to cool down. And then I shall look and check if they've all sealed properly. But if you just want to show them. Okay, thank you for joining us, and I'll speak to you again soon.